What's up guys, my name is Jessekazam and welcome back to the Ultimate Escape from Tarkov Beginner's Guide. In this video, we're going to be doing like a general overview of the Interchange map in Escape from Tarkov. So this is kind of for beginners, kind of a 10,000 foot view of the flow of the map and kind of how it works. This is a phenomenal map. There's some amazing moments that can happen, but it can definitely be a little bit confusing. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So, like with all these other map videos, just want to do another kind of disclaimer here at the beginning that this is definitely geared more towards beginners in Escape from Tarkov, people who are trying to like learn the game and learn the flow of the maps. Now, Interchange is definitely a map that even if you've been playing for quite a while, there's still a lot to learn here. It's kind of a complicated map, but just know that if you're looking for something more advanced, really like loot driven or specific key spawns and stuff like that, there's some other content creators that have made some amazing videos that are kind of geared more towards that. But I want to start off by just talking about kind of like a general overview of the map. I'll have a link for this map down below as always. This is definitely the best one for me that I've found. Up in the top left, there's a kind of top-down view of the map. So obviously the main focus here is the shopping mall, and we'll get to that in a minute. It looks small, this whole thing looks small, but it's actually huge. And I'll talk first right off the bat about the spawn points and the extractions. So you can spawn kind of all over the map. So, you know, they have some spawn points here, but there's quite a few. You can spawn basically all around. There's a few behind on the south side, the north side by the power plant, and in the front here. Now, obviously, like the other maps, it's going to push you to the opposite side to extract. This map really only has 3 extractions total. The 2 guaranteed ones are just northwest and southeast. There's a lot less potential extractions. These are just the 2. There is a potential extract here that you can get by paying money to get the car out by the power plant. It is not used very often at all. But because it's very north and south focused, and because you're going to be in this building a lot in the mall, one of the best things to learn right off the bat, and as you know, as far as points of reference go on where you spawn and where you extract, is going to be learning the kind of north to south flow of the mall. And it's really simple to do that. If you are anywhere near Idea, you are on the north side of the map, and if you are anywhere near Ollie, you are on the south side of the map. So that is definitely some points of interest to be looking for no matter where you spawn. Even if you spawn right out here in the middle, you can look at the mall and you can see, okay, Idea's on my left, Ollie's on my right, you know what I mean? And you know where those are. And then check right off the bat, right when you spawn, which one your extraction is. Because some of these, it's a little confusing because you spawn kind of in the middle. But checking that so you know is going to be super, super important and learning that general flow. Now, the main part of the map is this giant shopping mall. You know, it's a lot less about just spawning over here and then working your way towards the extraction. You know what I mean? The mall is where you're going to want to be. It's where all the loot is, it's where all the scavs are and the enemies, and all the PvP is happening. So that is where you're going to want to be. Now, the mall is broken up. There's 3 kind of main huge department stores or whatever, and then this whole gray area in the middle is like the middle of a shopping mall with absolutely tons of small stores and stuff like that. There's 2 floors to the mall and a parking lot underneath. We're going to touch on the parking lot in a little bit. So you have Idea on the north side, which is kind of like IKEA. You've got Ollie on the south side, and then you've got this store on the back. A lot of people call it Goshen. So learning where those are, there's quest items in here and places you have to find quest items and place quest items all over. But knowing kind of where you are in reference to these is always going to help you keep your bearings while you're playing the map. And then in here, I'm obviously not going to go through every single store, but there's tons and tons of stores and tons of loot. And that's really one of the biggest things to know about Interchange is that there are an infinite amount of angles that people can have. Every single one of these stores you can go in. There's restaurants you can go in. There's counters you can go behind. There's all sorts of escalators where you can go down top to bottom. This is the 2nd floor right here, and there's these big openings so you can look down onto the 1st floor. There is just an infinite amount of angles. So the way to play this map, or at least to learn it, is slowly. You want to be checking your corners. You want to be checking your angles. You want to be checking long hauls. You want to be knowing where you are in reference to these things where you can look down, or in reference to an escalator, learning the sounds. It sounds like a lot, and it really is a lot. This map is a lot, and it can be really confusing on where you are and all sorts of stuff. But as you slowly learn this map, it's definitely intimidating at first, but as you learn it, this is kind of where a lot of what Escape from Tarkov begins to really shine. Really moving through the mall tactically, really learning to listen and hear where gunshots are and figure out where people are going to be, to listen to the sound of people running up or down an escalator. Some of my absolute all-time favorite moments that I've ever seen, whether it's myself or other YouTubers or streamers, have been on Interchange. So the game really shines here, but it's a lot to learn. So I would definitely recommend just playing this map slowly. But the general flow is going to be, where the people on the north side are most likely going to be heading into Idea first, people on the south side are most likely going to be heading into Ollie first, moving through the mall, either trying to get PvP or trying to get quests done, and then moving out of the mall and going to your extraction. There's so many different entrances and exits to the mall as well. So as you learn the map, just constantly be taking note of when you see those, because they're great ways to dip out of an engagement if you're kind of stuck, or to just get to an extraction faster or a safer kind of route. So that's kind of the mall. We talked about extractions a little bit. Underneath the entire mall is a underground parking lot system. This can be, I still to this day, with 600 or 700 hours in the game, struggle to know where I am under here. So this is definitely, once again, move slowly through it, try and figure out where you are, have this map up on a second monitor or something like that. Be aware of where you entered the parking garage and where you're trying to go, and you'll start to learn that eventually. Now, as far as like choke points, there's really not one or two you can say. It's more, we can talk about like spawn fighting and where people are going to be. So, if you spawn, depending on where you are, if you just bum rush the mall, most likely you're going to be able to get in. But there is a lot, if you move a little bit slower through this outside, there's a lot of PMC fighting that can happen out here in the front parking lot, and by the power station and stuff like that. So just be aware of that, because a lot of people like to snipe down these roads or kind of through these parking lots and stuff like that. A lot of that can happen. And then always being aware of, if you spawned on the south side and you did just bum rush Ollie and you're in here looting or something, being aware that most likely all of the other PMCs that spawned on the south side are going to be maybe making their way to Ollie a little bit slower. So as you move into the mall, then you are going to have potentially PMCs in front of you, scavs in front of you, and then potentially PMCs behind you as well. So it's all about learning the flavor that you like to play. If you like to get into the mall and get a defensive position really early, or if you like to take your time and kind of move through and make sure that there's nobody on your back. But that is kind of how, it works right out of spawn. And then, like we said, there's a million angles. People could be anywhere. There isn't really like one like choke point. Now, the other point of interest that I want to bring up is the Kibbe Store, which is located here on the map. It's on the first floor. It's kind of towards the middle, a little bit closer to Ollie. But the Kibbe Store is in the mall. It's a gun store, and there's 2 keys required to open it. It's a double door system. The keys are expensive and hard to get, and inside is some of the best loot in the game. So you can find fully modded weapons, you can find grenades, you can find high tier armor, you can find really high tier and rare attachments, all in Kibbe. So as a wipe progresses and more people start getting those keys, more and more people are going to start fighting over Kibbe. So be aware of that. If you're trying to bum rush it and get there first, start learning where those spawns are that are going to put you closest, and be aware if you're trying to get in there, or if you're just looking for PvP, that is definitely going to be kind of a hot zone for Interchange. And then the last thing I want to touch on really quick is the scav boss, Killa. So Killa is the newest scav boss that they added to this game as of right now. He spawns in the mall, most likely. He can be roaming around towards the front of the mall. He likes to hide out near Kibbe a lot. And then he can even chase players upstairs. He'll chase you upstairs. He can chase you outside. And then a lot of these stores, Brutal, Mantis, Viking, these stores right here, he can be hiding in as well. He doesn't have 100% spawn chance, but you will run into him frequently. He's got really high tier armor, a level 6 face shield on his high tier helmet, and normally spawns with an RPK with some of the absolute best rounds in the game. So I say that to say that no matter what armor you're wearing, no matter how juiced or kitted you are, he can one tap you. He can absolutely wreck you and ruin your day. He normally has a 95 round mag attached to his RPK, and he can wreck you. The strategy for Killa is definitely, at least where we are right now, is to find him first and shoot him first. You can kind of aim punch him and lock him up by just laying rounds into him, either legging him or zeroing his armor. If you've got a really beefy round like 308 or something, you can tap him through the helmet. But he is aggressive. He spawns by himself. He doesn't spawn near with any like bodyguards or anything. He's just kind of roaming around. He is very aggressive. And even if you scav into Interchange and you get close to him, he'll just aggro onto you immediately. But he's got some great loot. He's got some really cool armor and stuff to take. Normally spawns with a lot of grenades, 60 rounders with a lot of really high tier ammo. So he's really fun to chase down. I've died to him a million times, but hunting Killa is a blast. So that's kind of it. That's the general flow. There's so many little stores we could talk about and places to find meds and stuff like that, but this map is overwhelming enough as it is. This is where I cannot recommend enough taking some time with some offline raids and moving through this map, looking for points of reference. Have this map up on a second monitor with no PvE or anything, where you can learn and find points of reference and start to figure out where the extractions are, how to get there, where you are in the mall, where you are when you're on the outside of the mall, where you are in the parking lot. There's a lot here, but just to say it again, this can be where Escape from Tarkov can really, really shine if you give it a chance. There's a lot of quests that push you here, so it's definitely worth getting to know. It's definitely a beast that you have to tackle, but I can promise you that it is for sure worth it. Thank y'all so much, as always, for taking the time to check out this video. If you like it, think about dropping a like or subscribing for more content like this. Definitely leave a comment down below if you have any questions about this video, or if there's any videos or guides you'd like to see me make here in the future. I stream Escape from Tarkov a few days a week, and I'm always trying to make content that helps shorten the learning curve of Escape from Tarkov and get you in raids having fun as soon as possible. So thank you again so much for stopping by, and I'll see you all in the next one.